It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Terry Brown, Vinny Hardy here. Another episode of Cats Talk Wednesday, courtesy of the BS3 Network. Appreciate Ben Sutter for having us. TB, man, and we into that super busy time where it's all the sports going on at once. You know, your Dodgers just wrapped up baseball, but all the rest of the sports.
Long-time Dodger fan, yeah.
Congratulations, y'all. Everybody hates the Yankees, so congratulations to your squad, man. We appreciate y'all.
That's right. That's right. This was the first championship parade in LA in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the Dodgers and the Lakers won back in 2020, that was COVID time, so there was no parade. So there was so that was good to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm always going to have a soft spot in my heart for the Dodgers because of Jackie Robinson thing, but I understand if that's not your get down. But, my whole thing was with the World Series. I follow a lot of baseball fans like, Yankees and Dodgers. Like, it hasn't happened since 78. Like, what are we doing here?
81.
Was it 80? Was 81?
Uh-huh. Dodgers
was 81? It was 81.
Yeah.
You're right.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's only happened like 4 or 5 times since the Dodgers moved to LA. Like, this is not an every year occurrence like when they were in Brooklyn and everything. So
it's still cool though. It's still, I thought it was. I didn't watch every game. I did watch that documentary though, leading up to it, that Uncivil War. I went back and watched that. I caught the last game when the Yankees melted down, which was hilarious. Little league errors out there, man.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you need your marquee teams to show up in your marquee events sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It helps.
Yeah.
It helps to have your marquee franchises out there playing. And people are like, oh, Dodgers and the Yankees. Like, yes, I'm sure if Manfred had his druthers, yeah, give me Mets, Yankees, Dodgers. Yes, absolutely.
No doubt.
The same way if you went to, I almost said Paul Tagliabue. Woo! Not Paul Tagliabue. Woo!
Oh, Raj.
When you say, oh, Roger, if he had his druthers, yeah, a Cowboys Steelers Super Bowl, yeah, man, that's good. Or yeah, in NFC Cowboys Niners, as we've seen, like that's still a thing. Like, yes, why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Adam Silver, yes. If we could get Lakers Celtics, yes, we will take it.
Yep,
because that's going to do numbers, right?
Absolutely.
Like, so yeah, I it's so weird that in our lifetime, I remember the World Series being the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only it was such a cultural thing, is that's how we describe other things. Oh, this is the World Series of this.
Yeah.
This is the World Series of that.
Yeah.
That's the cachet that baseball and the World Series had. And I watched some of those games. I'm like, I don't know these people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I know the team names. So with baseball, I don't know how they get around that. It just didn't have any juice, even though it was those 2 teams.
Yeah. It's the most disconnected I've been. Of all the 3 major sports, I'm the least attached to baseball. This stuff with Valley Sports Southeast, I didn't get a lot of Braves games like I normally did this year. I'm like, man, how I can't even. If it was Sunday night baseball, I would catch them because I refuse to add another streaming whatever. I got enough I ain't doing it. And if I just miss,
old man yelling at the cloud, Vinny. That's my favorite Vinny.
Absolutely. I'm not doing the prime. I'm not seeing any Thursday night games. I just ain't. I got enough. And the SEC Plus games with Kentucky, the exhibition. I thought I had it. Had to upgrade to something else, and I didn't. I was like, well, I'll just watch it when homeboy posted on YouTube. So.
Yeah, I mean, we are maxed out with all the streaming services. To be clear, because I'll see clips and stuff of a show, and I'll be like, "That's awesome," and it'll be like some weird thing. I'm like, MGM Plus, what is this?
Yeah,
like
they create new.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. We got rid of cable, but now my bill's way more.
Yep. Somehow, some way.
Yeah, man.
Our guest is in the back already. Didn't even introduce him yet. Hadn't even told y'all about him, but he is backstage waiting. Friend of the show, been on before. He's the head coach of the Harlan Green Dragons boys basketball team. He coached the girls for a time as well. He's the 2022-2023 13th region coach of the year. He's none other than our buddy Derrick Akal. Coach Akal, welcome back, man. How we doing?
Man, I'm glad to be back. Thanks for having me, man.
Appreciate you. About time to get things cracking again, man. How we feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. We got a really young team, probably the youngest team I've ever coached, and they're bringing some joy back in the game for me.
Good stuff. I saw the skill play days that you've been putting on Facebook and throughout, so how's those been going?
Been going good. It's mainly for my younger kids, man. Just trying to get in there and let them get some skills in and let them just play. With all of the trainers out there, man, sometimes they don't get a chance to just go out there and play. So I like to get them and let them have some fun and just run up and down the floor and play.
So you say your youngest team ever. So you kind of going, back to basics, having to get all the fundamentals in there. It's not like you got a bunch of juniors and seniors that you just, they know. So you really taking it back to square one this time, huh?
Yeah, but sometimes, with these freshmen, sometimes they think they know. I just told them today, they crack me up. I love them. They're competitive. They have a lot of energy, man. They're willing to learn, but, they still young and they think they know everything. So we work on that part. Get them unlearn some things and then learn some things.
So who should we be watching out for, and who are your opponents going to try to take away?
That's a good question. This group of guys hasn't played a game yet. So one thing we talked about today is once we get into the season, I'm going to learn a lot about them as they're going to learn a lot about me. So as of right now, I couldn't say, but we, man, this is one of those, I know people heard this before because Steve Curry said, this is truly going to be strength in numbers. I got 9 to 10 guys that could possibly play. There's not a big gap between 1 and 8. So have a bad week, you may be 8. Have a good week, you may be 1. So because of that, it brings competition every day in practice. So you ask me that, let me come back on another month or two, and then I can answer that question better.
There we go. So you got more size, more quickness. What type of team?
Man, it's kind of random. I don't think we're really big, but I got a couple young kids. A particular kid just turned 14 in March, and he's about 6'2" or 6'3". So he possibly could grow another 3 or 4 inches. So there's a couple of those guys you can see being about 6'4", 6'5". But then we got one of my best players is probably 5'6" or 5'7". So it's a wide range of height and abilities, and just a different type of team.
Listen. Now, last time you was on with us, we talked about your coaching style, and you said that I don't get up during the games, I don't jump around, I don't scream. I sit down in my seat, and you do. I was at the game when y'all play at Harlan County. You're a man of your word. You was no histrionics, no showing out, no none of that. Now with this young of a team, are they gonna test Coach Akal's coaching style? Are you still gonna coach the same way?
Well, obviously I got to adapt to the team that we have. So you're probably going to see the histrionics. You're going to see the up and around teaching / coaching, Coach Akal. With this kind of group, I'm kind of looking at these. I know this is probably unpopular as a 30 games of practice, right? Where it's an opportunity to teach as much as it is to win for us. So I can't just sit there this year and just watch them. So it's going to be more about teaching. So each game to us is going to be like, don't get me wrong, it's a game, but it's also an opportunity for them to get better at things they're probably weak at.
So, you know, you got such a young team this year. You're molding them as we speak. You just said 30 games of practice. So it's I guess it's kind of hard to say style of play when they haven't played a game yet, haven't played a game together yet. So I guess come back in a month or two and we can see what the style of play would be as well, right?
Well, yes, but like I think the last time we spoke, I kind of talked about like we're going to chuck threes. Like, don't know how many we're going to make, but we're going to chuck them. We're going to play defense for 84 foot. It's something I hadn't had opportunity to do since I've been coaching. I hadn't had the numbers. And I think it's going to help their decision making. So it may not look good at times, but sometimes that's how you learn when it's not looking good. So we'll pick people up and press a lot and probably get off a lot of shots from behind the arc and hopefully get a lot of layups. So love layups, like threes. That's kind of what we talk about.
Okay. TB, man, you want to jump in? I ain't trying to just be yakking the whole time. You know, I get carried away sometimes.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening to Coach talk. I got my own athletes and just trying to take these nuggets back. Is getting your team where you trust them and they trust you. How is that process beyond just the X's and O's? How do you build that family, like we all in this together kind of thing that you need for a good team?
Well, you know, we spend a lot of time together, in the weight room. That's where I'm getting to know them. In the weight room, getting to know each other. In practice, we communicate a lot, not just about things on the court, just about who they are, things they like. Just kind of get a feel for who they are, how they've been raised, and what they can take and what they can't take. So during that process, I'm better able to coach each player to their strengths.
So the first game, if I look at the schedule right, at Phelps, or if I've overlooked something, or
that could be the girls. I think we play South, or maybe Clay on December the 3rd.
Okay. I must have pulled up the wrong thing.
Unless I'm sure, I don't think we play Phelps. I don't know. Like honestly, I'm telling you, this is the truth. I literally, with this group of guys, like it is literally day by day. Like I just stack days, and as we get closer to the game, I may be able to kind of focus on that. But right now, I'm just trying to get better at the small things each day. We just kind of talked about today is being able to have discipline and focus to take care of the small things and stack those small things together to where they become big. When you got younger kids, sometimes, first thing I want to do is go in there and take a whole bunch of threes, dribble the ball 50 times, and hit a home run with every pass. So we're trying to hit singles. We're trying to work on our form shooting. We're trying to make sure we know how to get in the defensive stands, how to line up on jump ball, like all these little things, and stack those days. So as we get closer to the games, I probably prepare more and kind of figure out who we playing. But right now, I got to concentrate on who we are right now.
And so the coach speak is real. All the coach stuff is actually, you really, really doing it this year with this, this much youth for sure, right?
Yes, we just funny you said that. Do you know Gary Amos, Benny?
Yeah, I think I know the name. Somebody a little younger than him, but yeah.
Well, yeah, he's my best friend. We played college together. We were roommates. He retired military. Now he's my assistant.
Okay.
His first year back. So he and I just talked about that. How coaches, we say things, and in an interview you're gonna hear coaches say these bullet points, but this is true when I say we have to stack days and we take things day by day. Like we have to, or I'll be doing the same things in 2 years.
Mm-hmm. So if you do it now, in 2 years, you have molded, and you'll be ready to rock in a couple of years now.
And then you can see me sitting back down, right? Because I always like, if I really, this is my 22nd year coaching, And in my mind now, because of the way the game is played, I probably have less effect in game than I thought I did 15 years ago, right? So if I'm preparing them in practice to make good decisions, make shots, I don't have to do as much during games, if that makes sense. Like I found over my career, like sometimes I'm up yelling and screaming, and I'm the one getting my blood pressure high. Like it's like I'm not really making that much of an effect. Sometimes it could be bad. Like I could be taking somebody's confidence by yelling and screaming. I don't know, distracting them for what they need to do. So in practice, we try to spend a lot of time on just making the right decision under stress. I'm going to make them uncomfortable in practice. It's going to be hard. It's going to be stressful. So in those moments, they should be able to handle some things and problem solve themselves on the floor in real time.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
It doesn't always work, but it sounds good in theory, right?
That's right. That's right. So you mentioned you kind of on the modern thing, like layups, love layups like threes, like you said. What percentage would you say of the teams you played like to play that same style? The 5-out, the shoot threes, or you still have some throw it down into the low block type, some old school type. What percentage of those teams? I know maybe not this year with you getting a chance to scout ahead, but overall, last year before, what percentage of teams just layups or threes and not really mid-range anymore?
Man, that's a good question. I'm going to say the majority of the teams will take those mid-range shots, like if they get them. We just don't hunt them, right?
Mm-hmm.
My assistant coach used to say every shot ain't made equal. So I got some guys who could probably get into that 1-2 pull up and shoot it at a high percentage, but that's something you got to work on. You just can't shoot it just because it's open. Like you got to be able to make it. We don't want shot makers. We want shot takers. So if you can make that shot, that's one thing, but it's probably the most contested shot in the game. And I'm not saying, because I know a bunch of people say it's a lost art, but if it's lost, we got to find it. We ain't found it. So if they work on that mid-range, we'll let them take it. But most teams we play, they don't, because I get joked at a lot. A lot of coaches say, we know you're going to take a lot of threes. I said, if I'm not that talented, it's the one shot I've said. It's the one shot when I've had, like last year, we wasn't that good. We lost a lot, and then I've had some good teams, but it's the one shot that talent can't control us taking. So you can have a great defense, we get 33s off. You can have a terrible defense, we get 33s off. But if you have a great defense and I don't have any ball handlers, it's going to be tough to get to the bucket. If I ain't got no post players, I can't get it down there. So a lot of times for me, the talent has dictated sometimes the shots that we can get. Prime example of Harlan County basketball team last year, they could flat out shoot the basketball. When we played them last season, I looked at their stats and I was telling my guys, I said, man, they got 4 guys shooting over 40% from 3. Like, how do you guard that? Like, now, and if they can shoot that well from 3, guess what they can shoot from? They can shoot from the free throw line. I've never seen a really good 3-point shooter who can't make free throws.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, we just kind of, we're going to live and die with that philosophy.
Are you a big proponent of floaters for your players, depending on the type of team you have?
Man, like, I don't mind that shot if you can make it. But certain shots you have to work on. You just can't see it on 2K and then see it on highlights of ESPN and decide you're going to be able to make that shot. And that's a problem now. Is guys just don't work on that shot. Like they say, oh, that's my floater. I'm going like, how many floaters you took this week? If you tell me 3, that's not your floater. That's somebody else's floater, right? Like you have to work on that shot, right? So that's the thing. Like, I don't have many guys shoot floaters, but I wouldn't be opposed to taking any shot that you work on. I mean, honestly, if I walk in the gym and it's a guy shooting 1-2 pull-up mid-ranges, and he's taking 500 of them, he's doing it every day. He's getting up in the morning, and he say, Coach, I can make that shot. I say, I trust you can make that shot because I've seen you practice it. But if I don't see you practice it, and then you taking a 1 or 2 pull-up because you've seen it on TV, I'm not, we're not going to get along.
It's like Patrick Ewing when he
yeah. Is that your shot?
Yeah, right. Right.
Exactly. So I think this kind of comes and goes year in, year out. You hear about it, you don't. It hasn't changed. Are you pro or anti shot clock for the state of Kentucky?
Pro.
Mm.
Pro. But I would like us to move in a direction where the sport mirrored from the highest level to the lowest level. We're mirrored a little bit more. So the games don't continuously change for kids. Right. So you were saying earlier, like about the mid range and about like certain things. So if as a middle school coach, I'm opposed to kids taking threes, or high school opposed to kids taking threes. If you just kind of pay attention to the game, if you look at the Olympics, you look at Coach Pope, who I've been following for years, even as at BYU, the game is going in a different direction. So if you spent 15 years running the flex or not taking threes, and then you want to play at the next level, and the game just looks different. They got all these different actions, and the games are going to look more like Connecticut. It's going to look like UK. It's going to look more like Purdue. Like, so I don't know, man. I just think like the way the game is changing, like we're all going to have to make an adjustment. And if shot clock, if they got it at the NBA, they got the college, I don't know why we don't have it.
Yeah.
But I think it's cost, obviously. You know, that's the number one proponent. I mean, I'm at a small school, so paying for it and then finding somebody to keep the shot clock during the games the correct way would be a problem for some schools. So I could understand that part of it. Yeah. That's the only thing, just the pay, the cost of it.
Because, like you said, as far as seeing consistency on every level, you can't see a team start to kind of take the air out of the ball with 5 minutes left in the game on any other level except the high school level. 8 minutes, fourth quarter, and then 3 minutes into the fourth quarter, they up 8, and here they slowing it down. Like, what? And we got fouling already going on, and like, what's going on? So from that standpoint, you're not going to see that anywhere else except in states that don't have a shot clock.
When I coach girls, we used that. Like when I had Jordan Brock and had another young girl named Brooklyn Massengale, they were two really good ball handlers. And if I was up 8 with 4 minutes to go in the game, you was going to have some problems because we were going to spread you out and let her dribble the ball. And then if you come out, she went by you. We was going to limit your possessions. But if you had the shot clock, we'd be forced to take some shots. So if I can use it to my advantage, I would. But if you got really good ball handlers and you up about 8 to 10 with about 4 minutes to go in the game, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And with no shot clock. Now, the only thing you have, we supposed to have a 5-second call. And I don't want to get into that too much, get myself in trouble, but we supposed to have a 5-second call, which is 6 foot. According to the rule book, it's 6 foot, which means that's free throw line to the top of the key. Right? So what happens is you don't get that 6 foot call, but now that causes the defense have to get really close. Well, when you get that close, you're going to put hands on them unless you're really good at defense, good feet. Well, if those are fouls, and I got a really good ball handler, it's going to be tough. Because now he or she can dribble the ball a long time and create space to get you in trouble. So, but with that shot clock, that'd be difficult. I know a lot of people pose to the shot clock, but it is what it is.
Yeah. For sure. I'm going to flip it real quick, too, just to football. Are you you keep up with the NFL? You got a favorite team?
Oh, yes. Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Steelers. Since the 70s, man. Yeah.
Mike Tomlin wondered how he lost to my Cowboys this year. I know he got to be,
Hey, don't come on, Vinny.
Same way Lane Kiffin wondered how he lost to Kentucky. Mike Tomlin like, how I lose to this Cowboys team? How in the world?
You're a Cowboys fan?
I am. Just like my dad, man. Just like that's the only team we agreed on pro-wise, me and Pops, man. But
that's tough.
That
hurt my feelings, man.
My fault. I'm sorry. But
no, when they beat us this year, man, like I was miserable. One of my best friends, closest friends here is a big Cowboys fan, and I just knew it. I could feel the way the game was going. I said, man, we're not going to beat them, man. I still think, Steelers are maybe rust, but we just got a new wide receiver. So Mike Williams? So we're moving up.
So I asked that because I'm sure we all saw, and look, I don't know if you hate them like I do. I can't stand the Eagles, but Saquon's reverse hurdle fellas. I mean, to try it in a game, first of all, because if you miscalculate, you're on the disabled list. If you don't jump high enough, you
100,
out.
yes,
You out for
yes,
6 weeks. I'm just
yes,
call it what it is.
yes.
Yeah.
Is he reverse hurling dudes in practice, or he just said?
My guess is he's done that before in practice, right? Like I've been to parks before playing basketball, and when I used to live in New York, I've been to the Rucker tournament, like I've been to I've been a lot of places and seen a lot of guys do some things, and then when you see it in the league, sometimes they think it's the first time it's ever been done, right? So, oh my God. But a guy like Saquon to me, at some point, with that kind of talent, he's done it playing pickup football in the back. Like he's tried to do it in the house. Like I don't know if he just done it right then, but regardless if he did it when he was a kid, to do it at the highest level to the best athletes in the world, that's the best play I've ever seen on the football field. I don't think it's close. I think it's better than the one-hand catches. Because everybody's doing a one-hand catch, but I've never seen nobody. But he made the first guy miss.
Yes.
That's what was crazy. He made the first guy miss, then went to that hurdle. Like that, I don't know. Have you ever seen anything like it?
No.
No.
That's why I had to ask you. I knew I was asking both of y'all, man.
I've never even heard of anything like that.
No. I was watching it live.
Oh, I missed it live. But I was watching it live, and it kind of reminded me this summer when the Olympics was playing, and Steph had that last 4 minutes of that game. I remember how caught up I was, like in that moment. Mm-hmm.
Like, and when Saquon done it, I came up out my seat and I was like, "What? Like, they got to show that again. Like, did he just? I almost didn't believe what I seen.
Yeah,
I was like, did he turn around backwards and hurdle him? Like, he could dunk on you.
No doubt.
I bet you he could dunk on you.
Absolutely. But yeah, he was Barry Sanders, and like you said, it wasn't just open field. I'm a reverse hurdle a dude. I'm in traffic. I'm juking people. I'm spin moving a guy.
Didn't he spin move on the first guy? I think he spin moved
Yeah.
on the first guy, ran to the next guy, like juked him, and then turned around and hurdled him.
Yeah.
It was just so.
That was incredible. I was saying that. I mean, what do you say about that? Right? That was just incredible to see somebody do that, making the decision to do it and doing it. That's insane to me.
Yeah. Even if he practiced it, like, to be able to pull it off in the moment, it's crazy to me. It's almost disrespectful.
And you
to be that talented, man, like, pull that off in an NFL game is, I don't know. That's crazy to me.
And you said it. Y'all both said it. To be at the highest level, there's been I think on Twitter, the slow-mo angle and the fast motion. Then there's somebody from behind the Eagles bench, and all of those dudes, best in the world, see him in practice every day, and their reaction, like for them to be just like us on the side, like, oh my God, what if, they couldn't believe what they just saw as he did it right there in front of them. That's when your peers are just mouths are on the ground.
Yeah, and that's the best part to when we see plays like that. And the other athletes are also like back to being kids like we are. You think back to all those really great dunk contest moments, right? Where it's just, was it 2000 with Vince Carter and Shaq's got the big old camcorder out there, and they're taking it all in, like, and they're enjoying it just like we are. Like, oh, did you see it? Like, that is crazy to me.
That's when
I know you hate the Eagles, Vinny, but that was a great play.
I had to give him credit.
That's right. In the same division, ain't it?
Yeah. And I, right now, I dislike them the most, even more than Washington and New York. It's just, I don't know, something about Philly. I mean, I'm sure is it Cleveland for you, Baltimore? I'm sure you probably got one that you
Cowboys.
I mean, in your division.
My division, it's Baltimore.
See,
it's Baltimore. I mean, the Ravens and the Steelers had some epic wars back when Ray Lewis was playing, and so it's Baltimore. Now Cincinnati worries me a little bit. the way Joe Burrow can throw. But just within our division, like I really don't like. But it's weird because I like Lamar, and I was a Derrick Henry fan because he went to Alabama. And now that they're together at Baltimore, it's like a love-hate relationship. Like I like to see them do well every other Sunday, but when we play them, I'm going to like hate their guts. So
I like Mike Tomlin. I just hate he coaches the Steelers. And I've felt that way since day one he got hired. I'm like, man, I like that dude. Why he got to be coach? Why he got to be there?
I'm wondering if there any other coaches in the NFL that were defensive coordinators that's successful. Like all your top NFL coaches now were like these days are like offensive gurus, quarterback savers and all that kind of stuff. But Mike might be the only defensive coordinator that's a head coach that's winning.
Old boy from Houston that was with your squad, Terry.
Yeah,
yes, that's right. That's right.
Alabama guy too. Come on, coach.
That's right. I know. My bad.
Are you good, man?
They started out hot, but they like, CJ not having as good a year as he was.
He got to get Nico Collins back. That's
true.
His numbers went as soon as that guy was hurt. They missing him real bad. So we'll see if they get him back. But I do. Even though I hate the Eagles had to bring that up. Father, son, proud father moments. Terry been on the show. He's got a daughter doing big things in college right now. You got a father, son moment that you're proud of pretty recently too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Was that Jordan?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, I mean, he's in school playing, but my nephew.
Okay. Going to EKU, right?
Yes. Okay. My mother and my sister passed in 2022, and he was living with them. So at the time, he's since been living with me. I become his guardian. We kind of joke because my mom actually adopted him. A lot of people don't know this. So like, he's my uncle. He's my brother, and because by my sister having him, he's my nephew.
Okay.
And now I'm kind of like his dad. So we run the whole thing. But no, he signed with EKU. I'm super proud of him. His last football game was Friday, and it's something before his mom passed, he promised her he would do, and he's worked really hard. He's a great kid, man. So like, I'm thankful that the nest will be empty in May.
6 months, Coach. 6 months.
6 months, man. Like I love him, man. But Jordan is at King, and so he'll be at Eastern, and I have to go opposite ways and watch him play. But I'm super proud of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought you were talking about Jordan.
Yeah. I think I missed it. I misspoke, but yeah, that's why I saw his commitment. Saw y'all posting about it. Saw you shared it, and so I knew I had to get that in too. So what about Braun and Bronny? TB a big Lakers fan. We ain't even talked about that much. Y'all's thoughts on all that?
Man, I like it in terms of like him being to do what he did for his son. Like I have no problem with that whatsoever. But now we're just talking about on the basketball part of it. Then it's a little different. But in terms of his ability to take care of his son and give him anything, and then Bronny's worked hard for. That's the problem I have with some of the argument. It's not like Bronny never played basketball before, and he just decided, come play for the Lakers. Like he's practiced, he's played AAU, he's worked his tail off. So I don't have a problem with it. I just don't know if he's better than a lot of people who didn't get the opportunity.
Where you at, TV?
I think it's a pretty cool thing that one, LeBron has played long enough to be able to do that. Like, I don't know, I don't want to debate the MJ versus LeBron, but like, he's still top 10 player in the league year 20. Like, that's insane to me. Like, it just is clearly insane. And so, look, man, can somebody name me the other number 57 pick in any other NBA draft? Like, what are we doing? Like, most of those people don't even make the league, which is no knock on them. That's just how tough it is to make the league. And so give Bronny a year or two to see what happens. What difference does it make? Right? Like,
Right.
I don't get all the uproar.
I think I've had this conversation with some people, man. One of my buddies used to play overseas, and is that the guys who, work really, really hard, right? And just didn't maybe find the right situation, feel some kind of way because in their mind, they're better. But just to get the opportunity, the only reason he's there, which, I said, I don't have a problem because, if I own a Fortune 500 company, my son Jordan is going to be rich.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. And Darius, he's going to be rich. So, and I'm going to bring him up. I'm going to bring him with me. And so I get it. So I kind of get both sides of it,
And this isn't anything new. We have all seen companies and places. Oh, Joe Smith, the owner, Joe Smith Jr. is the VP. Like, I mean, that's not an unusual phenomenon, right? Like it just isn't. So I'm not going to get too bent out of shape because we see this happening when you can see it literally everywhere else.
Yes.
Like that's
the basketball side of it. I go, okay, right. If you don't know who he is and you watching a game, you go, okay, But then the fact that, like you said, LeBron played that many years to put himself in a position to, which is just crazy to me, to basically say, you are going to draft my son. And he is going to make this roster. Like that's like, so coaches could do that. GMs could do that. Presidents can do that of the team. But a player to be able to say, you are going to draft him, you are going to play him, he is going to sign a contract. Listen, that kind of power, I can't, like the kids say, I'm not hating. I can't hate on that.
Right. I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes,
I wish I could do that. I wish
we could flex like that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, if I could flex like that. So I ain't mad at him, man. I'm not mad at him.
You said you followed Coach Pope for a long time. So now that he got the first regular season game under his belt and then Bucknell this weekend and Duke next week, what are just your thoughts on, the putting together of the roster, the staff, the everything he did in the 6 months he's been here from then till now, from the press conference in Rupp till the first game, your thoughts on everything as far as the whirlwind that he's had since he got here?
I mean, everything up to this point to me has been as good as you can expect, right? Before you play, right? So if you said the hoopla, the energy around the program after losing Coach Kyle and where everything went, if you said today this kind of energy is going to be around the program, I would say he would go, thank you, right? But at the end of the day, once again, we'll find out when they get in between those lines. Ultimately, that says, you're going to be judged when you coach at Kentucky. So everything up to this point, like I love his style, always have. He's been big on analytics. I like a lot of stuff he run. Like I said, about 5 years ago, we was running some BYU stuff. We had plays called BYU that I took from him back then. So, and I'm seeing him run some nice stuff at Kentucky. So, and they can shoot the ball. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when what is it, Duke next week?
Yep, Tuesday.
Yeah,
yep. Mm-hmm.
Tuesday. So I guess we'll see where we stand then. I mean, even against Bucknell, because the teams like Bucknell, man, like them the kind of teams will get you.
Mm-hmm.
Them teams are solid, man. I always say you see them teams nowadays, and they got these coaches, in their 30s or 40s, and they just can't get them blue blood jobs because them older coaches ain't going nowhere. And they've been studying the game, man. They had to work their behind on to get up there, man. And listen, they can shoot it. Remember, that's what happened with Oakland last year.
Yeah.
What's my man name?
Golke.
Yeah, I call it. Steph
Got
Golke.
Golke, yeah.
Steph Golke.
Steph Golke.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, like, man. Like, and it's so, remember when we was younger, a dunk was demoralizing, right? So I remember when I was younger, a dunk could start an 8-0 run, right? And the gym would get, the energy would be crazy. Now you got a guy like Golke, who's just running off the line, shooting fadeaway threes. And that energy now has shifted to the 3-point shot. You remember the Olympics this summer, Steph hit 4 threes. It was just 3-pointers. But man, you'd have thought he did a windmill 360 from the top of the key. So it's amazing how that just shifts, man. But Kentucky got those kind of guys this year who can do that.
I like to, interchanging of the versatility, based on the scouting report, because Kobe Brea, everybody knows, shoot 50% from three. And,
gosh.
And then against who they just play? Shoot.
Wright State.
Wright State. He putting the ball on the floor and getting to the rim. Otega Oweh, who you look as a prototypical 2-guard, athletic, slasher, physical, get downhill, take a bump and one through contact. He out there spotting up, hitting threes. So your shooter is slashing, your slasher is shooting. So I just like the crisscrossingness of it all, the interchangeability of it all, if that's even a word.
Yes, I always like if you can shoot it, it causes like crazy closeouts, right? So that makes you a really good slasher, if that makes sense. Like, so if I can really shoot it and you run out at me and I know how to beat the closeout, my guys always tell them what's the greatest gift to an offensive player? It's a closeout. If you have to run out at me and I can shoot it, you're done, right? And at that level, they can dribble, pass, and shoot. Right. So, and they decision make. So you said, he can spot up and shoot. Well, now you run out there, and if he's already athletic and a slasher, when he goes by you, he's going to create problems. And if you don't get out there the correct way, he's going to make the three. And Coach Pope got several guys who can do all three things. They're going to beat the closeout, make the right decision, right? Draw two guys, kick it to the open guy, and they'll exploit mismatches. So within his offense, you're going to see all those things happen. And sometimes he do it by design, which is like some of the stuff he does is like, I hate to say it, but I kind of call it sorcery. How he like some of this misdirection stuff, zoom over here, DHOs over there, some split posts over here, some grenade action over here, just to get to something on the other side. That's what Connecticut does, right? Like I like to see Kentucky play Connecticut, see Coach Pope and what's his name again? Danny Hurley,
yeah.
Match offenses.
Be something. Gonna be something. So the Celtics gonna win it again.
Man, you know who I want to see win it? Honestly, it's OKC. Like I love that young team, man, and Chet might be the only one can deal with Kristaps. With his 7'4", and Shea is a problem. He could score. Then they added my guy from Chicago who can defend. But I still think, man, Boston may have the best all-around team I've seen in. Man, I'm trying to think of the last team. It may be the best team I've seen all around since I've been watching NBA. I mean, when you consider Drew, Kristaps, Jason, Jaylen Brown, those four right there, right? And then you add Derrick White to it. And now you look at Peyton Pritchard is playing like he's playing unbelievable. Al Horford's playing like they have a total team, man. And just like you said about Kentucky, like, and all them guys can shoot. They just space you out. And it's kind of weird because they don't run a whole bunch of actions. But since it's the NBA, they don't have a 5-second call and guys can dribble all day. So as soon as Jaylen Brown get in the paint, if you try to help, he just kick the guys and they just launch threes. It's really that simple. They're going to take 40 or 50 threes a night. I think it's going to be hard to beat them. I don't know if anybody in the East going to be able to handle them. Joel is never going to be healthy enough. You can't. Paul George, you can never count on being healthy. That Giannis and Dame stuff is not beating Boston. It's not going to beat them in a 7-game series. Cleveland looking good now, but it's only 10 games, 15 games into the season. I just don't know in the East, who's over there?
What is Doc gonna do? Can he? I mean, Can he fix it? Can he?
Listen, see, I'm glad we're on here, man. I don't want to get started, but man, like, I hate it because Adrian was 30, well, I think 31 and 13. Adrian Griffin when he was there. I don't know. Like, I've heard some things, so you just never know what the truth is. But I think Giannis asked for this, and but man, sometimes it's just time for some people to go lay down. I hate to say it, but it may be time for Doc to go lay down, man. Like, it may be. Like, and when Doc was at the Celtics, I had mad respect for him, when he's at the Hawks, but sometimes we hang on a little bit, man. I don't know. It just don't look good.
Mm-mm.
And then, Chris Middleton is not healthy.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. What do you think about the Doc thing? I don't want to be hard on the brother, man, but it just yeah.
To me, we getting to the point now where it sounds bad to say it. The championship run was the exception to the rule. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's true.
The choking away 3-1 leads and all that is
that's
more
true,
the
man.
norm for him, and the title run is the outlier. And I'm like,
and that was only one run, because those guys were together a couple years, weren't they? Like him, KG, Ray, and Rondo and Paul Pierce, they was together like 2 or 3 years, and they only won at one time.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Yeah, so
yeah, they beat the Lakers in 08, and then Lakers beat them in 10.
Yeah. And then after that, Bron destroyed them when he went to the Heat, right?
Yeah.
Yes. That's how we got those memes of Bron. Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna get this 47 points. Yes.
Yeah. So, like, you're right, man. I didn't think about that. So the norm may be to losing the 3-1, what we seeing now.
And it's like, Terry, you always talk about Eli Manning. He got two championships off 2 Super Bowl runs, but everything else, never made the playoff, didn't do nothing, but he got in there and won it twice. You got to give him credit, but the same amount of picks as interceptions, is Doc is kind of Eli-ish if we're looking at it that way, are we?
As a coach, and when you go to different places, that's what makes it tough. Like, I forgot which coach said, when it was Bill Parcells said, they wouldn't even allow him to pick his own groceries. So as a high school coach, I don't get to pick my groceries, right? So whatever's in the refrigerator, I got to find and make a meal out of it. Okay, in college, they get to go pick their groceries. Well, he was the GM. When he got to pick his groceries, prepare the meal, like set the table, like do the whole thing, like, and still lose 3-1 leads. It's crazy. And he had some really good teams, man. Them Clippers teams, to me, that may be the most underachieving teams I've seen in a long time. When he had Blake, DeAndre, Jamal Crawford, CP3, that crew there, man, they were tough. Is that the teams he lost the 3-1 leads to?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Orlando, didn't he lose it?
Orlando early on with McGrady, right?
About
T-Mac had T-Mac, and I don't know. Yeah.
Now that's the team that was my sleeper to give Boston some trouble this year, not to beat them, was Orlando before Paulo got hurt.
Yeah, I hate to see that, man.
They young, they was on a come up, man. They was on a come up, and sneaky good. They know, they're not in the big market, and Boston is sexy pick. But I thought, man, Orlando gonna get better over these 82 games and maybe getting that 3rd and 4th spot in the East and challenge. Because, like I said, I don't trust Philly. I don't trust Milwaukee. I don't trust Cleveland really. Now the Knicks, forgot about New York with Cat there. I don't know, man. They could be tough after about 50 games of playing with each other. after the All-Star break when the NBA started to go, okay, let's play a little basketball now. And forgetting the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two teams. I still think they're coming up, but we'll see if they can challenge Boston. I just don't think it's going to happen.
And I just don't know, Tibbs just going to have them wore out by the time the playoffs get here anyway.
Yo, Tibbs, man. I seen an interview the other day when I think DiVincenzo, what his name is, at Minnesota, and he played a lot of minutes. And did you hear what Minnesota coach said? They said, DiVincenzo played a lot of minutes tonight. And coach is like, oh, he played for Tibbs. He okay.
That's right.
If you play for Tibbs, man, like Tibbs is like the Bobby Knight of the NBA to me. Right? It's like I just tell my son, I said, if you got old enough and got good enough when Coach Knight was coaching, and you say, Dad, I want to go play for Indiana, he's probably gonna punch you in your face. He's like, I still want to play for Indiana. I said, okay. And when he punch you in your face, he said, Dad, he punched me in my face. And I say, so, like, what you call me for? Like, you go play for Bobby Knight, that's what happened. So when you go play for Tibbs, you're gonna play all game. You're gonna practice full speed every day. You're gonna get hurt. I love him though, man. I love him. Tibbs was on that staff with Doc Rivers, remember?
Oh yeah, he was the defensive guy, wasn't he?
He was the defensive guy at Boston.
Yeah,
he was on that staff.
And at the time, maybe I'm wrong now. Maybe they was trying to give Tibbs a lot of credit.
They did
almost too much credit when Doc was the head coach to me. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, it was the
Tom Thibodeau. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
I was like, hey, easy.
Yes, it was the Buddy Ryan thing. Whenever Chicago Bears won a championship, Mike Dicker was the coach, but everybody was saying Buddy Ryan, that 46 defense.
Yeah.
Right? It's like when the Ravens won some years ago with Trent Dilfer, it was like, man, that it wasn't Belichick. I forgot who was the defense. Marvin Lewis, who ended up coaching the Bengals.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what they do in the Tibbs. They like, man, if it wasn't for and the players was doing that. Tibbs. I was saying, I was going KG, but you got a guy like Kevin Garnett on your team, like it make any defensive coordinator look good. But no, they was man, that's tough. Because Doc wasn't getting the credit for that chip. It was Tibbs. Oh, that just hurt my heart. That hurt my heart, Benny. I wish you wouldn't have said that, man.
Oh man, I would.
Now I'm looking at this totally different with Doc.
We try not to do him that way, but it's just too much of a track record now. Like you said, lay down and because we keep putting the wrong stuff on the track record.
Well, we recycle. That's the only thing about coaching, man, especially in the NBA. Like they just recycle guys, man. Like it's kind of like that in college in some way. I think it's changing a little bit. They just recycle guys, man. I think, the coach become bigger than the game sometimes, and his brand does. So they're able to stay around a little longer. And like I said, Doc, obviously forgot more about me. Hall of Famer, coach is going to end up being played for the Hawks. I mean, so he's probably forgot more basketball than I ever know. But at some point, you sit back and look, you got to go, man, it's time. Like, you're not getting it done. And it could be other reasons, but like somebody else deserved that opportunity. And I hate that. But now you done made me really feel that way, Benny. I'm blaming you.
My fault, man.
I'm blaming you, man. I'm gonna go on this fire Doc thing, man. I'm gonna say I went on Benny them show, man. They convinced me to get rid of Doc.
Man, we done sent you down that path. My fault.
No, I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing.
Well, man, I always appreciate having you, taking the time, especially getting ready for the season. Looking forward to seeing how y'all keep stacking days and how even if it's going to be 30 games of practice, we still looking forward to seeing it, Coach, man. So wish you all the best this upcoming season in the 13th region. And, man, just keep doing what you're doing. We always appreciate you coming on here and dropping knowledge with us, man.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. It's been good, man, to see you guys. So I appreciate you.
Yes, sir, man.
We appreciate it
so much.
All right,
tell
man.
the family, hey, man. Tell Jay and everybody I said, hey.
Will do, man. Thanks, man.
See you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Akal, Harlan Green Dragons head coach. Got a bunch of young puppies that he molding and shaping. So let's see how that plays out as the season gets here, man. So I always appreciate Coach hopping on. We hit the Cats a little bit. We hit Saquon. My Cowboys are in shambles. So
man.
Got Cooper Rush coming to the rescue. And then we trade for a receiver after I don't know. Everybody making moves, and now we done. Here we go, bring in the dude from the Panthers. And everybody joking, you going from the Panthers, you actually leaving Carolina and going to the worst organization in the league. So, I mean, that's where we are right now, man.
Hey, God love you, Cowboys fans. Like, there's no bandwagon Cowboys fan, but y'all go through it, man. It's crazy. It is, but that's for y'all. We starting to get a little healthy.
Yeah,
CMC supposed to be coming back this week, so we'll see how that goes.
That's what you said. Getting healthier as the season goes along, which y'all normally don't do, but that's looking good for y'all, man.
I like it. Some 49ers fans are upset because we didn't make a lot of trades, but for me, the draft was really, really well last year. So we got a lot of Mustafa. We got a lot of those guys, rookies playing really, really well. So we'll see, man. I think Detroit is becoming the beast of the NFC. But as I said last week, I seen them in the playoffs and I seen their movies. I know how those movies end. So
can't argue that. I can't argue that. Nobody can until they do something about it this year or next year. I do like it. That's a smart move though, getting former Cat Zadarius Smith. Since you lose, you got Hutchinson. I like that. That's what Cowboys fans want us to do. Hey, make a move that betters your team.
Well, and the thing is, the 49ers, we don't draft great at the top of the draft, but those 4th and 5th and 6th round picks, that's what the team is built on, to be honest with you. And so you see this player moving for a 4th round pick, this player moving for a 5th round pick. Like, we use them.
Yeah.
Fred Warner, 4th round pick.
Wow.
Hufanga and Kittle, 5th round picks. Like, I mean, so these toss out picks, like that's where we find our all pros,
Hall of Famers and stuff. I'll get
right. That's what I'm saying, right? So that's my whole thing when it comes to Trey Lance. Was that a whiff? Absolutely, right? Because I'd forgotten till recently, like we had traded picks to move up, right?
Yeah.
Any other time that happens and the person they pick doesn't work out, your franchise is set back, right? Now, was it lucky that we got Purdy? I guess you could consider it luck, but it happened, right? So if you're gonna whiff on a number 1 pick, and those picks that you trade to get it, if you're gonna whiff, then your Mr. Irrelevant pick better pan out. And so that's my whole mindset when it comes to the draft is I don't care who we draft on day 1. I ain't worried about that. Because the diamonds in the rough come at the back part of the draft. That's where we find our dudes.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. So, yeah, that's I don't know. And as far as being, well, y'all haven't really been up near the top of the draft in a while because y'all been so good for so long here lately. As far as
yeah, I think Pearsall might have been the highest pick in a while. Just because we've been near the back of the draft, which is fine. Like I said, we find diamonds in the rough, so I'm not too been out of shape. Pearsall looks good.
Yeah, he coming along.
He's fitting in. Looks like he's got a pretty good kind of relationship with Purdy going. He blocks because that's a must for all of our receivers. You got to block, got to catch, got to run, all those things. So we'll see what happens. I'm feeling encouraged with CMC coming back.
Y'all go to Tampa Bay.
Yes,
this weekend. So
hurts my heart because the hashtag is SF versus TB, and that wounds me.
You thought about that, man. They coming off a tough loss where they, your favorite team beat them, the Chiefs. But Todd Bowles probably should have went for 2 because I don't know why you think you just want to play for overtime in Kansas City, and when they win the coin toss, you already know what's gonna happen. I mean,
man,
I knew they was gonna go for 2. I was like, they're going for 2 and they score here, right? And they didn't.
Believe me, I know of when I speak. Mahomes is at that. You got to bring me the body. Let me see the body. I don't. Well, I think we got him. No, no. Nope. Let me see it. I've seen this movie too many times. Too many times, because I see. I not so much this football season, but over summer a little bit. Because again, you clipped me on this talking about the Bengals and Joe Burrow.
I had to.
And so I've tweeted out and whatever. Joe Burrow's very, very good. But y'all got to stop pretending like he ain't up in Mahomes' class. Mahomes is different. He's reached the Jordan level where he may not be the MVP. But how many people are you taking before Patrick Mahomes in a draft?
Yep.
Lamar Jackson, fantastic. Looks as if like he's going to get number 3 MVP, which is putting in rarefied air. And I say this not hating on Lamar, but if I asked you, I want you to build a team for the NFL playoffs, what quarterback are you taking?
Yeah.
And I see people, right? Because I think Mahomes might only have like 8 touchdowns or 6 interceptions. Like his numbers are pedestrian.
Yo.
But again, I asked the question.
Sorry, you can't pick anybody else.
And the thing is about Mahomes is he went from all those receiving weapons, right? Tyreek Hill, all those guys, Tyreek down there somewhere, and completely revamp what they do. They're not getting 40 something points a game. It's right play, right. Like, look, man, I'm a 49ers fan. I have seen that movie several times too, where it's just like whatever the San Francisco defense is accounted for, the one thing they left open is the one play Mahomes gets them into.
Every time. You don't make a mistake. And he went from, like you said, Tyreek and to him and just a bunch of dudes. Everybody saying Kelsey is washed. And now his team went out and got him DeAndre Hopkins when they struggling to be undefeated. And now you go give him Hopkins. And now they going to start clicking. You saw another night, the play, he dropped it in between 2 or 3 Buccaneers. And there Hopkins is, okay, I just got here, but we already in sync. All right. So give them another 6 weeks to get ready.
Yeah. So my thing is, look, Patrick Mahomes is on a different level. Yeah, I mean, he's just different, man. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like again, his numbers aren't gaudy, but that dude just keeps winning.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sure is 17-10, 27-20. Whatever I need to do, we're doing
it. And he's breaking off these weird 40-yard runs against the not. Like, man,
yeah,
I'm a little scarred by that. I'm also scarred by Kentucky football.
Yeah.
I caught bits and pieces of this one. I don't know, man. Like, I wasn't excited going into the game, but
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I don't know what needs to happen. People smarter than myself need to figure this out. I know we've got a lot of injuries, but I wasn't encouraged before the injuries.
Right. Yeah. It's that kind of year for me all the way around. Cowboys and Kentucky, because the only thing Kentucky wins is the depth chart, the injury report. They always got more people on their side than the other team. Tennessee only had like 4 or 5 guys. I think Auburn had 3 or 4 guys out. Kentucky with a string of guys out. So we win in the injury report every year. Every week. That's the only thing we win. And I wasn't planning on going. My buddy got called, had a couple extra tickets, so went down there. And you interacting with the Tennessee fans, and you fist bumping a few Kentucky fans there. Wasn't many of us there this year, understandably so, because we all kind of knew what was about to happen. And I was telling them, I was like, y'all ain't got much to worry about tonight. Y'all really don't. I said, we banged up. All the first string is on the injury report, and the history of us playing y'all down here. It hasn't been a close game, Kentucky versus Tennessee, since 2006 when Randall Cobb was there. They won 17-12. I think I was there at that one. All the rest of them been blowouts. We beat them in COVID. There's only 5 people in the stands, but they did at least break the losing streak in Neyland Stadium. So, to their credit, they kept it closer than I thought. Because usually, we don't match up with that offense at all. They hit a bomb as soon as the game starts. The national anthem ends. They hit a 70-yard bomb. It's already 7-0 for people get in there.
And that's my thing is we can't be caught off guard because Tennessee plays fast. Really? No. Look, I still obviously I want the team to win. I was keeping track of it. It was 7-0 for the longest time. As I'm looking, I'm like, one more score, and I'm in.
Yeah.
And
it
didn't happen.
Yeah. I sat there saying this ain't enough. It was 10-7 at halftime. Kentucky. I said, this ain't enough. And here's the thing: had you been watching, Tennessee left points all over the field. Their kicker was full Scott Norwood. He missed 3 field goals. They dropped a touchdown pass. Nico ain't that great, but he was putting the ball in their hands and they were dropping it. Another touchdown, Jordan Lovett for Kentucky made an amazing play. Their tight end's going up to catch it. Lovett blast him right at the goal line. That's 2 drop touchdowns, 3 missed field goals. They left 23 points just laying all over the field. So they wasn't playing that good. If you could have just separated, got up 10-0, 13-0, put that Mike Pratt game pressure on them, it would have possibly been different, but they just never could. They forced a turnover and then penalties, holding, go backwards, punt the ball back to them. Just never did put them away. The offense just wouldn't let us separate. It just, because we ain't scored but 20 points one time against Ole Miss. They said that if this keeps up, it's going to be the worst offensive output since like 1982 when they went winless. So that's where we are. That's what happened.
Yeah, I want them to win. I do, obviously. But again, I don't know what the change needs to be. The offense, um,
Mm.
like, look, we made fun of Iowa's offense the last couple of seasons. There was much consternation to be made,
Mm-hmm.
and Iowa has scored 40 points like 3 times in the last 5 games this season. Like, and it's not just defensive touchdowns. So, yeah, you can make that change.
Yeah. So what are they gonna be like 10-2 again this year?
No, they might. I haven't even looked at the Big Ten standings, but they've been winning. Cade McNamara's hurt, so they got like a mobile quarterback. But
Here we go.
they are
Iowa,
scoring more points.
they are 6-3. So yeah, 4-2 in the conference. Yeah, they're already bowl eligible. So they got that going for them. Oh
Yeah,
let's see. UCLA, Wisconsin, and Northwestern. So yeah. Mm-hmm. So they can, 8-4 if they lose to Wisconsin or whatever. I think they'll beat UCLA and Northwestern if they lose to oh, wait a minute. No. They done already blasted Wisconsin. I'm looking at it wrong.
yeah. But
Here we
they
go.
just played Wisconsin.
Yeah, they got Maryland and Nebraska. UCLA, Maryland, and Nebraska. Okay. So still 8-4, probably 9-3. It's on the table. Yeah, just another Ferentz doing Ferentz things up there.
Yeah, and that's the thing is consistency, man. That's what I was all about. Every coach it seems like they talk about have been forever. Luter just stepped down after 25, 26 years. Ferentz has been there since the turn of the century.
Has he had a 5-7, 4-8 ever?
He's had a 3-8 season.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's had a 3-win, 4, but it's like once every 5 or 6 years. That's the thing.
Okay.
And I get it, because Iowa plays it safe, but that's not a bad place to be. I've talked about this. Like, if you are not chasing championships, which most teams are not, what is it that you do that makes your team, your fans feel good? Beat your rivals.
Yeah.
Get to 8-9 wins, go to a nice bowl game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's the thing to keep in mind, because after Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes, Ferentz has more Big Ten wins than anybody else.
Wow.
That's crazy, right? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of Woody Hayes, that Louisiana Monroe assistant coach tried to go Woody Hayes on his own people.
Man.
Lost his mind.
Sports coaches losing their mind. Like, where else is that allowed?
Exactly.
All this stuff, like, you're not allowed to do that anywhere else. Like, it was clear that the kid coming off the field knew he had done something, like whatever it was. But the concerning thing was when the other players like intervened. And some of the other coaches, like, come on, that's a little too much. It's like when Trent Dilfer had that blow up. Except he had a high school kid, I think he was yelling at.
Yeah.
But then there's that viral video of somebody recording their coach, and the coach got fired because the coach was cussing him. Like, there's a fine line, right? That video that surfaced, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, coaches use profanities. I didn't think it was bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe don't necessarily use that much profanity, but I get that, right? But that I'm okay with. But yelling like this, showing up my kid on TV, oh no,
chasing him and
no. And I'm looking for that my own self, how coaches act. Hey, if my kid not doing what they're supposed to do, that's fine, but there's a way to handle it.
Yeah, he was just in a rage, man. Just Yeah, so he didn't come off the field when he should have, or whatever it was. But yeah, it was just throwing your headset on the field and then running after him and pushing him and carrying on. Yeah, he was lost his mind, man. So we got the Nason Stinney game this weekend. Bucknell coming to town. So the last tune-up, if you want to call it that, before Duke. And like you said, you can't take those kind of teams lightly. But,
Yeah.
I liked what we saw, man. It was,
Yeah, I like this team. I do. I want us all to move on from what used to be and focus on what is. And not focus on what's coming next year. Focus on what is. Just enjoy this. I like the team. They looked like they were playing with joy. And to me, that's the best. That's the biggest thing with turning the page is there's joy.
Mm-hmm.
And the last few years, there haven't been. Even when we've been given these moments, there's always been this cloud, right? And I think now we're playing and having some fun, and there's no cloud.
Yeah.
That was my thing after the Oakland game when Jack Golke decided to go Steph Curry on us. Was my thing was Cal can't come back not because I didn't think he was a good coach, but I just know how not fun it was watching these games, and it's only going to get more not fun.
Yeah.
Because I get people are raving about the offense and what Coach Pope is doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked at offensive efficiency last year. Do you know who was number 6 in the NCAA men's efficiency?
I think it would have been us.
It was Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's what I'm saying is like that the offense wasn't the thing.
Right.
There was other stuff. Last year's offense was not the problem.
Yeah, because it was.
I get we want to hit and shoot more threes. I get that. But we were hitting 100 points easy. Right? It was not the offense. So there's that aspect of it. But, I'm excited. Take care of business. Then we'll see, what we'll do with Duke.
Got to take a nap before that one because it's going to start late. So I'm just going to already set us out a little, get a little snooze in so we can stay up.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 10 o'clock tip by the time they finish up. Who is it? Michigan State or Kansas? Whoever played before us.
Yeah.
It ain't tip until 10.
6 years ago, I was in Indy. That's when Zion Williamson had that or that Facebook memory pop up every year. I'm like, man, that was terrible. That was terrible, man. Phone buzzing, man. You watching this, man? Like, I can still see myself on the highlight packages in the second half.
I need to pull that up.
Hey, yeah, there's me just. I mean, I'm a little fuzzy. Like they weren't zooming in on me, but I can see myself. It was one of them plays. You could just see me do the.
Oh,
I did not do the surrender cobra, but I did the.
You just slowly deflated.
We were at the Duke end. I could hear Coach K during the timeouts.
Oh boy.
Oh yes, and it was all Duke people because that's when the Duke mascot told me and Tina. Team's not very good. And I'm like, mascots ain't supposed to talk.
No.
Is that some kind of code or something?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Man. What a night. At least you had Tina there to suffer with because y'all
was great.
Miserable together.
It was great. We were courtside for Michigan State, Kansas. I realized Tom Izzo is tiny. I realized the Michigan State Spartans mascot has fingernails, which is, okay. Ooh. Yeah. It was great, man. Hey, love Tina. I know she's recuperating, but her whole thing is you just go till they tell you no. She's like, come on down here. Come on down here. I said, where are you at? She said, courtside, where are you? I said, I'm in the media seats where we supposed to be. She said, that's too far. Come down here. I come down, security gonna stop me, Tina gonna say, "Oh, Earl, he's with me. Oh, you with Tina?" I'm like, "How the hell?"
She on the first name basis with
Yeah,
Earl.
come on, sit on over here with me. I'm like, whose seats are they? Well, they're empty. They're ours now. Great. And I was excited. And then one of those things. And then what happened?
Yeah,
That was the thing too, man. Like it was clear early on, being that close. I was like, oh man, our dudes don't want to be here. Like Zion did something, and I was like, oh, okay. They don't. Okay, that sucked. When I was like, maybe they can get, but no. Early on, it was like, no, sir, no. I'm like, maybe we can get it within 20. Not gonna happen. And then I had to go to that post game press conference, listen to Coach K with his passive aggressiveness. I want to be like, can I just choke him right now?
Nasally passive aggressiveness.
They played their best. You shut your face.
Those Kentucky kids, I love those Kentucky kids. Yeah.
I will. Yeah, that was rough. So hopefully, whatever happens, won't be that.
Yeah. It's in Atlanta, so it's not Indy. So that's for starters. And Cooper Flag is gonna get all the hype and all the Duke. And it's role reverse. Duke is young now. Kentucky is old. So it's flipped. And Andrew Carr's played against Duke. He's from Wake Forest. He knows about that. He knows what those guys are. Jackson Robinson been around, so it's not like they're gonna be in awe of these freshmen. So it's gonna be fun to see. Early season test. And see what happens next week, because when we back on, it would be the day after the Kentucky Duke game. So looking forward to it. It's here, TV. It's here.
Let's have some fun.
Congratulations to your Dodgers, and let's get this season started.
That's right. That's right.
Tell all the family hello, man, and enjoyed this episode. Thanks to Coach Cal hopping on. Thanks to you each and every week, as always. Thanks to BS3 Network. And we'll be back next Wednesday, y'all, for another episode of Cast Talk Wednesday. So, Vinny and TV, catch y'all next week, because we're going to get on out of here now, man.